All right, everybody, and welcome back here on my channel. Today, I have a good friend of mine and a VeVeVerse master builder here on the channel, Collector's Gone Digital. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm looking forward to this.
Always, man, always. I mean, you've helped so many times with like small details in my space. So I'm honored to have you on today to talk about a few big things, I would say. And the first one, I mean, is the partnership you have with VeVe. Let us talk about that.
Yeah. That's saying right to you before the call that a little bit of a weight off the shoulder because that's been in the works for several weeks now. But it's like one of those full circle moments I always talk about. Was never really into collecting. VeVe got me into digital collecting. And then you fast forward to today, and now we're building virtual environments for the collectibles, which brings me back to my childhood. And now it's like this whole thing that's brought me right back to what I was passionate about like 10, 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's a surreal moment, man. And just being able to work closer with the team is super cool.
But I mean, it's so well deserved, in my opinion, because you've shown your creativity and the craftsmanship that is needed to bring like the whole VeVeVerse experience and VeVe as a whole forward, I would say. So
Thank you.
what can you tell us about that partnership? Because I've seen on Twitter that you posted, we will do a few amazing spaces together. What can we expect, if you can tell?
Yeah, so I am limited with what I can say for the VeVe work. What I'll say for that side of things is I've been working directly with Dan in the verse to build out various spaces for different things. But that's pretty much the extent of what I can say there.
Okay, so we will get a main VeVe hub in the VeVeVerse.
I can't.
Yeah, sorry, man. I know, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I recently launched the website, so that brought in several more projects as well. So we're just, focused on growing and having fun while doing it, man. Getting to wake up and work in the verse every day is a dream come true. It's super fun. So
Yeah, I believe that. So
yeah.
is it a full-time job now?
No, because I still have my social media stuff that I do for construction companies. But I'm getting to a point where I have a wait list right now, so I could bring on somebody to handle that work. The problem is, and I'm sure we'll probably get to this a little bit later on in the convo, but there's demand for builds, but it's not the right demand, if that makes sense. Like,
What do you mean by that?
what I mean by that is everyone who's getting spaces right now are people who have been in the community for 2-3 years building their collections. They're not like a new user coming into VeVe isn't ordering a space, right? So what's going to happen is demand might stick for 5 or 6 months, right? Those people that came to us to build spaces will have their spaces, but until VeVe brings in new users, that demand's going to die off.
Yeah.
Because it's not realistic to think that those same people are just going to consistently order spaces from builders, right? So that's a thing right now where that's the reason why I'm building the wait list, is because I don't want to bring someone on, give them work, and then that work kind of dies off 5 or 6 months from now, if that happens at all. I just want a little bit more certainty, if that
I got it.
makes sense. But
Got it. Yeah. I mean, if you are a new user to VeVe, I mean, you need time to build your collection. I mean, you will not talk to you about a custom space when you have like 20 collectibles or so.
yeah,
That's not reasonable. I totally get that. Yeah.
yeah, and there might be some outliers, like there might be 1 or 2 collectors that come in and do that, but it's not going to be something that's reliable, So
Yeah, totally get it. What are like some projects you can talk about from the community that are currently on your desk?
So I just had another call with Klim from Big Shot. So without spilling too much beans with that, what I'll say is he's in the process of upgrading his collectibles for the VeVeVerse. So holders of those collectibles should be in for a bit of a surprise soon. But once he's done with all of those files, then we should be getting those collectibles imported into the verse, and then I can continue building out his space. But
Okay.
I'm building out it.
What kind of collectibles we're talking about? I'm not that sure right now.
So Klim, he runs the Big Shot Toy Shop. He is responsible for the Nounish Friends on VeVe.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm working with him. I am talking with some other licensors right now that they're kind of waiting for some specific features to be introduced. They're
introduced to the VeVeVerse so they can like let their vision build.
Yeah. So they can use their collectibles in more ways, socialize with their audiences in more ways, things like that. But those guys are watching. They're kind of just on the back burner right now. I'm excited for was actually one that we got last week, which was a Dragon Ball Z space.
I really like. Now we just need the collectibles for that one.
And this collector is prepared for that. That's why he wants to build it out. He said that exact thing. He's like, I'm hoping we get Dragon Ball Z one day where I can add them right into this space. I'm like, right on.
Is it like the space thing? I've seen that. Like I don't know how.
The lookout?
Huh?
The lookout you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is going to be a version of that, and I'm going to be trying to build I will build the whole interior as well, like the different floors and stuff. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to put together.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah. We're still at that phase where I think any build's a lot of work, right? But as long as you're having fun doing it. So yeah, those are some projects, and then everything else I'll probably keep a little
keep quiet for now. Yeah. Totally get it. I mean, I wouldn't talk that much about that big of a deal with VeVe because honestly, worst case, you're risking that, and I totally get it. I mean, everybody should get it. That is huge for you, and I would keep it close to my chest as well.
Thanks, man.
But in terms of the projects you can talk about, I mean, I don't know if you have seen my last interview that was with Master Roni. He's also one of the main VeVeVerse builders, and he also does great stuff, in my opinion, really, really cool spaces. And I've talked about pricing with him a little bit. Is that a topic we both can talk about?
Well, what I'll say about it is pricing is going to vary depending on the scope of the project. And how much time's involved and things like that.
So it is per hour on your end?
No, I don't work on a per hour basis for a couple reasons, but the main one is like, psychologically, it doesn't work well with me. I always just think about the time aspect and it affects my work. I don't do it with even like graphic design and websites and stuff. I just charge flat fees. That's just how I work. So it's the same with these spaces, and then price will go up depending on demand and stuff like that. But I won't give exact pricing, but it's going to fluctuate.
I mean, I totally get it. It varies how the project should look like.
And talking about demand though from before too, because if demand goes down, right, then it only makes sense for me to drop my price. It doesn't make sense for me to sit around and go, oh, I should charge this amount if no work comes in, right?
Totally.
And then the opposite. If there's too much work coming in, you raise your price until you get to a point where you're comfortable hiring someone. I've actually, and I'll give a shout out to Ben Rose. I had a call with him just to kind of get some advice about, how to scale and things like that as well. And it's very clear that in order for a business like this to get to the next level, you need to bring someone on.
Yeah.
The question is when.
Yeah.
So, because it's like this until something like this becomes more mainstream, and we're still years from that. Like even if you look at a game like Fortnite, where there's full agencies making 6 figures per month, like even that isn't mainstream yet, and we're talking about really popular games. Yeah.
Got it. So Ben is still watching like the whole evolution of VeVe, the VeVeVerse, etc. Because I mean, he was gone like this from one to the other moment. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to drag him back into the community and have people like tag him or anything. I think that guy cared tremendously. I think that was very clear. So shout out to him, and the fact that he was even willing to hop on the phone call with me after that as well. It says a lot about who he is. So
yeah, totally. But now to the exciting part. When people want to work with you on spaces or different kind of things, let us take a look at your newly designed website, which is looking awesome in my opinion.
Thank you.
Honestly,
Yeah,
I really like the look and feel of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I was trying to go for the modern design.
Yeah,
You
you
want me to share
definitely
my
made that
screen?
happen. Yeah, guide us through your new website, please.
Yeah. So, oops, I got up. I'm gonna unplug my headset here. So we've officially become a design studio, which is why I'm proud to announce that collab with VeVe, because that is our first, I guess, official project announcement since launching this. So
Sorry to interrupt there. I mean, you always say we. Who is we?
it's just a habit. Like this isn't
Okay,
just me.
but
If
it's you, right?
it, yes, but it's like there are people that are building in the background that I haven't kind of brought into the light yet because there's still a question of whether they want to do this full time or not. They're kind of just feeling it out. Um, but when I say we, it's just sure I create the content, but it wouldn't mean anything if no one like watched
Yeah,
it or
yeah, got
supported
it.
it or
Yeah, got it.
So it's definitely a we effort.
Sorry to interrupt there, man. Go on.
No, it's a valid question. But yeah, so it's a mix between. I mean, what we're doing is it's virtual architecture, right? It's just minus the physics. You don't need to worry about a building falling over if it's standing on like a little, you know,
Yeah.
one cube or something. And then interior design. So pretty much our studio will handle everything from pretty much design, building, decorating, placing collectibles, and then all revisions as well. And then these are the main services.
Yeah, I really like that part of the website because it's so, I think you can directly see which one would be perfect for you. Because in my case, I was like, okay, custom worlds, I really like to build by myself and I like to getting better at it. World management, okay, I don't really see a use case for me on that point. And then I came to remodeling and I was like, yeah, that would be the perfect thing for me because as you know, I'm not that bad with like the big shapes and the overall structure of the space, but like the fine details and small things and all that stuff, the lighting, etc. I have a hard time with that, and that would be the perfect one for me. That's what I wanted to say to that. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate the feedback. That's
But
it's interesting because yeah, there's different use cases like what you just said there, and then there's also like a scenario where someone doesn't want to build or design it, but they want to like decorate it with their collectibles and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's different ways that you can approach it. So
walk
yeah.
us through all of them real quick, please.
So custom worlds is going to be building something completely from scratch. So you might have like a design or a vision in mind, or you might just give me like free will to create whatever I want. That's going to be that service. And timeline is going to depend on, scope of the project, right? It could be a few weeks, it could be a couple months, depending on what you're looking for. World management is going to be, you could have an existing world or one that I've built out for you, but you want help maintaining it. So you might be like a large collector, you're buying collectibles every single week. You want to showcase some of the new pieces you bought, right? You contact me, we'll make that happen, right? Remodeling is, well, in the word, right? It's remodeling. So you have something that's built already, you want to change the look of it, we'll come in, we'll do that. It could be like new lighting. You could move collectibles around. You might want to, scrap a display that you have for a certain piece and make a completely new one, stuff like that. And then video production. So for those who don't know me, I'm not just a builder, but I have been a content creator for like over 3 years now over on YouTube. So I started with the video production and that's carried over into this stuff now because you need a way to present your maps. So
And guys, his channel will be definitely linked in the description. So check him out. As he said,
thank you.
he's not just a builder; he also makes great content.
Thank you, man. But yeah, those are the main things we're focused on right now. So yeah,
I really like that offering, honestly, because I think for everyone who's interested in the VeVeVerse, there's something that speaks to that specific person.
yeah, and there will be more introduced as features are dropped in the VeVeVerse. So templates will be another service, and then Accessories will be another one.
What do you mean by templates? Like I can build some kind of shelves and sell those and duplicate it automatically? Because we didn't hear a lot about that till now.
Dan has brought it up, so I'm not saying anything that I know that the community doesn't, but so master creators have a feature where you can duplicate a space that you've built, right? And right now you can assign roles to a space. You can assign someone as a visitor, a creator, or a master creator. It would not be difficult for them to introduce a fourth role as owner. So if I open a space and I give a master creator access to that space, right? They cannot place any of their collectibles in it because I own the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say I transfer ownership of that space to them. Because it's their space, they should now be able to drop their own collectibles in it. Mm-hmm. So if I make pre-built spaces like the template that VeVe's already dropped,
that
right?
That could be a huge thing in my opinion.
Yeah. We're talking about e-commerce, right? So that is the other way to scale.
Yeah.
And then the accessories is something similar, but I don't want to say too much about that right now.
No worries. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a really interesting point because, like, honestly, that could be also like for content creators in general who like to build. I mean, I like to build. My builds are not even close as good as yours, for example, even though I'm still kind of proud on them. But I mean, I could also do that kind of stuff, and it's more of a community tipping system. Then someone buys it because he's like, hey, I like that guy's content and I dropped nine gems for whatever I'm offering or so. That would be awesome.
100%. Completely agree. And to your point about your builds, dude, you're a very talented builder. You are. Got to give yourself more credit because yeah, it's and we'll talk about this near the end, maybe like the number of builders in the community, because we do need more. And we need professional builders because that's something that we lack right now. Mm-hmm. I want to be very, very honest about that. But you're exactly right. Like you don't need 10 years of experience or, all of this, knowledge from other platforms to build out something that the VeVe communities just want to, support you on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like a tipping system if you want to use it that way too. But it's interesting where it can go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're new to VeVe and haven't signed up yet, it would really mean a lot to me if you do so with my affiliate link. Through that, you are not just supporting me, you also get 10 gems for free to kick off your digital collecting journey and grab your first digital collectible. And now, back to the video. Yeah. All right, that looks good so far. Please scroll down. Yeah, okay. So we see some things here on your website, but when we talk about those spaces you've already built, I want to talk to you about the first space. Oh, you have them on there. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's full case studies. So I went into I broke down the number of hours, shapes, collectibles, and everything that I placed in the world.
That. Okay, nice.
Yeah. So all of these case studies will break down a little bit more behind the story. Yeah. So, for example, High Rise was the very first world we began building as we started to explore and learn the VeVeVerse platform. It served as our creative testing ground, a space where we experimented with scale, layout, and design.
I mean, I was mind blown when I first saw High Rise, because that was roughly the time where it was shortly after the beta testers were allowed to put out to showcase their stuff, right?
I was building this when that happened.
Yeah, but you've showcased it in the first week of Go, right? And I think what I remember about that space was we've seen really cool worlds right after the beta testers were allowed to show, but this space was the first time where I would say my mind opened up about it even more, that you can build so realistic homes. I mean, that was the first home that was really okay, we are in GTA kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
You reminded me of the interview I did with Chad, NFT Pirates, because he said something very similar. It was funny how he reacted on stream too, but it's, and you know what? That does bring me to my point that I wanted to talk about with the builders is I kind of built this space to use as like the reason why I went with a penthouse and like this particular design for the first space was for a reason. And it's because I'm coming from a platform like VR Chat now. And shout out to OBL and Casual. I hang out with them in that platform often. And that's the kind of platform that VeVe wants to be at par with, if not surpass. Okay. I built this space to try and resemble a VR chat space and then use it as a timeline, because what happens is if you look at the first spaces that were built in the beta, right, the quality of those spaces is different from the quality you see now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's because of two things. Skill sets improved. More people have spent more time building, but you also have new features, new things to build with. So Swampy's lookout, the Dragon Ball Z lookout, he built all the trees before, right? You had to use simple shapes and stuff like that to build the trees. Now you can just drag and drop a tree and it looks more realistic.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens is over time, a space like this should look like crap. Right. Because as more things get released, it's going to be easier to build. The amount of time to build things is going to become less. Right. And so what you can do is you can almost gauge progression in the VeVeVerse by looking at a space like this and now comparing it to spaces that are still dropping. And that's an issue that I'm seeing in the verse, if I'm being completely honest. I talked to you before this interview about how while I've been trying to figure out my new schedule and stuff like that, I haven't been posting as many episodes as I would like to. And I feel like I've been somebody who has always been very honest and straightforward with my approach. And I'm kind of straying away from that a little bit because I wasn't posting as much content. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about more. People need to start being more honest about stuff like this and not just settling for what we have. Because if I'm being very honest here, and this isn't to discredit any builders, I'm not trying to insult anyone, because obviously I'm a builder. I understand how much time goes into this. But if we have an agency come in here with 200 employees that's built maps in Fortnite or other platforms, Unreal Engine, they're going to run over every builder in this community. Yeah, like that. Absolutely. That, including me. So what I'm getting at here is we need more builders in general, but we also need better quality in the verse in general. From builders, from features, from devs, from everything, if we want to meet the standards of a platform like VR Chat at the very minimum. Mm-hmm. Because a platform like VR Chat 2, it looks realistic. A lot of the worlds, they have a very loyal fan base. But again, that's not even like a mainstream platform. Yeah. So it's like you got to at least be at that level, right? If not surpass it. And right now we're far away from that. So to your point about how this opened up, how you can build out realistic spaces, we're not really seeing many realistic spaces in the verse. The verse has the capabilities of doing that, but not everybody's here focusing on the trims and the lighting and this and that. And that's to be expected. It's a platform focused for collectors, and the collectors don't come from building out maps. I get that. But you need professional, top level agencies or builders in here to really start attracting more people to the platform. And I think that's crucial. Mm-hmm. Because until that happens, somebody can build a super cool space. They can put in 200 hours doing it. They can make a cool cinematic video, showcase it, drop it, get 100 likes on social media. And then what? Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. It stops from there. It stops from there. And then that only happens a certain amount of time before demand starts to go, ugh. Because the VeVeVerse launched, people were running games, creating mazes, doing spaces. Where's all that now? Mm-hmm. Right? So that's like, it's got to be like continuous improvement, not just, hey, let's drop some features here and then forget about it for several weeks. It's like we need new features consistently, constantly, more people coming into the community. And that is a lot to ask. It's a lot harder to do than it sounds. To summarize
than what you've said. Okay, so in your opinion, we need better and more high quality builders, and also more reasons and more engagement in total in these spaces.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, maybe I want to finish that by saying, like, I am not trying to insult anyone. I promise. It's just, to get to that next step, we need to be really honest with ourselves. And yeah, like, that's what we need. We need more builders, more experienced builders, more environments that are being built that people actually want to visit, and not just drop a like on social media and then,
Yeah.
wait for the next one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a huge point in my opinion as well, because I have to be honest here as well. I mean, I love building in the VeVeVerse, um, but really visiting other people's spaces, I don't really do that, because I mean, I only have my laptop here, and I mean, high rise. I can't visit high rise. I tried. I can't, because it loads way too long, and then it's totally laggy when I try to go through there. And that's yeah, huge point VV has to work on, I guess, to make it more as accessible for more people also, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
We've talked about high rise, but the second space was like the California Comics store with together with Daniel. I mean, Daniel, a really great guy also. I guess a few days after this will come live, my interview with him will go live. Really
Awesome.
interesting. So, guys, check it out if you see that video a little later. Otherwise, wait a few days and check it out then. So, yeah, give us your take on the California Comics Store, the first one. I mean, there will be a lot of more, and there already have been.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's great to see that side of VeVe growing. There's lots of comic shops actually now starting to pop up, but this one was a spontaneous one. I was just talking with Daniel in a space. He actually already had a shop built out before, so I went into that space and he helped me to help him with a video to film because his laptop was like a little laggy in it. So I went in, I filmed, and then while I was doing that, we were kind of just chatting back and forth, and he brought up the idea of building out like a proper full scale store. So
Yeah.
gave me access to a new space that night, started building. First object I placed was actually that palm tree right here, and I
Okay.
just built around it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have like, any vision for the store or anything like that. I just knew I needed space for a lot of comics, and that's it. So
So this one is out of the top of your head.
yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. I mean, because
What was what was difficult with it was, so I built the interior first,
Mhm.
and then afterwards I was like, wait a second, the exterior looks like a government office building, but it's kind of hard to change like the look of it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah,
interior is already set.
yeah,
So that was something I didn't really think through too much, but it's definitely a lesson learned. So
yeah. I mean, each space someone starts is a new lesson to be learned, right? I mean, you can always figure out new stuff, how you do it, or what not to do, etc. I mean, it's always a learning curve, in my opinion. Yeah. How much 120 hours to build 2,500 plus shapes. How do you do it with the like that many comics in there? I mean, I know comics have a smaller file size than collectibles, especially when those collectibles have an animation or so. Was it like, I don't know how to say it properly, but was it a problem to put so many comics in there?
it wasn't for the average user, it would be an issue, yeah,
Yeah,
which is why we scaled the store down.
yeah,
But for my PC was running fine. I did record it in performance mode though. So if I did go into quality mode, then it would kind of
yeah,
jump a
yeah.
little bit. But I didn't find like there's not like a big difference for a space like this between performance and quality. So I just tried packing it as much as I could in performance mode. So
Do you do you have an idea how that problem could be resolved, because I mean it's a huge problem in my opinion. I mean we need to get the file sizes down, otherwise people will not get in there because the quality would be bad.
That's the solution. That's the solution. Is they just have to keep working on optimizing like the file sizes, compressing those. But yeah,
I don't want to sound dumb right now, but I I don't have any idea about IT and all that stuff, but that can't be that hard in my opinion to.
yeah, I don't have an answer for you there. I know that that's a job that Cavernous is working on. So,
Yeah,
but that's all I know. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
totally fine, totally fine. But yeah, as I said, an amazing space. But now we're going over to my personal favorite, Skyfall. I absolutely love Skyfall. I mean, people or guys and girls, watch the B-roll clip of it. It's an amazing space for an amazing collector.
should
Oh,
be
and
able
I
to just.
honestly I really like the new style of your videos where you're like the Black Panther. I think
Oh, thank you.
that's really cool. That's really cool.
It's a lot more fun to film. I will say that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've been getting some good feedback from
yeah.
that.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at it. It looks so cool. Have you continued working on that space? Put more collectibles in there, or
Yeah, so this space is kind of paused a little bit right now while the team figures out some issues with his account because his account is experiencing like issues just for him because of the size of his account.
because
So
of the collection size?
yeah, he's approaching 50,000. So every time he loads in, his library is trying to load that, right? So
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
it takes a long time, and some other things were happening because of that, like collectibles were disappearing and stuff.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, a
yeah,
little bit of a waiting game, but
yeah. But I mean, when this space is like totally filled with collectibles, this will look even better.
yeah. What's actually surprising about this one is there is a very healthy amount of collectibles in this one, like everywhere actually. But because the map is so big, it unloads certain pieces as you walk around, so
Mm.
it makes it easier to make that happen. Like if you put the same amount of collectibles in a small room, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, okay, got it. Because then it loads all the collectibles at the same time.
Yeah, like if I'm down here, everything upstairs is unloaded,
Yeah, yeah,
and then if I'm upstairs, everything down here is.
yeah. I mean, that's the problem with high rise, right? I mean, everything loads at the same time.
Yeah, testing ground. I had to figure that one out the hard way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe that. But yeah, honestly, that's definitely my favorite one so far. And by the way, nothing to do with your builds, but have you seen the Peter Pan one? Yeah, you probably have.
Oh, from OVNI.
Yeah, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but
I have trouble pronouncing it too. Yeah,
yeah, but
I did. I did.
that looked really cool. I think I've seen somewhere one of the first builds he did, or she. I guess it's a he. I guess.
You know what's funny is I've done a stream with them before, but they weren't talking, so I actually
Ah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. So, like the Mexican space or whatever, like the with the fountain in the middle.
The Coco one, yeah.
Yeah, genau, exactly. You couldn't go inside the buildings, and I guess it's the same for the Peter Pan one. But that would be so cool if there each house had his like own interior and all that stuff,
Yeah,
so that you really have a world to explore.
yeah, yeah. And I completely agree. That unfortunately isn't really possible right now just because of the space limitations. But that space, like shout out to them because they're from the Fortnite community.
Ah, okay.
They build maps over there. I actually have them on my friends list on Fortnite before they started building in VeVe,
Yeah, yeah,
which is kind of it's funny how that worked out.
yeah,
Small
yeah,
world.
definitely. So now we
But
have to figure out if it's a guy or a girl.
they smashed it out of the park with that one for sure. Like right down to Big Ben, it looked incredible. The whole atmosphere, one of the best maps I've seen so far. And actually, now that we're talking about that, I also want to give a shout out to Howard Russell, the guy who's building that. I think it's Acropolis, he's calling it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the Greek island. That one, architecturally speaking, is probably the best space I've seen. Just from the rocks for the island to just how the buildings are set up, vegetation. The guy's a comic illustrator, so he's got a creative job, but you can definitely tell from his build. So another fantastic one.
Yeah, definitely. And that brings us back to the point we had earlier. We need more talented builders in the community, right? So
we need, yeah, well, because I want to be very clear. When I say talented, I'm not trying to say there's not talented people, right? Like there's obviously a ton of creative people and talent in amazing spaces, but there's not people who are utilizing the professional techniques, which is like using your grid, lining up coordinates, making sure things are centered, making sure your materials are set properly, your tiling's right. Like that is what varies. And I'm a perfectionist, so I'm never really satisfied with any of my builds. Like I'll go back into any one of them right now and like point things out. And it's the same with every video I see in the community. Like frame by frame, or if it's a photo, I will look at it and my eyes will gravitate to what's wrong, not right. That's just how I am. Yeah, and I like right now I'm not seeing the trim, I'm not seeing the lights. I'm like things aren't scaled properly, and we need people in the community who understand like those principles. So that's what I mean when I say more builders. But again, like shout out to Ronnie, shout out to Omi, shout out to, or Masomi, you, dude, Roni. Like it's too many names at this point, but like everyone's crushing it. It's just more is more. We need more. So
yeah, got it. Let us move on to the next space, which was like a different style, I would say. The VeVe Towers.
yeah, this one, yeah, and I got to give a shout out to Robbie's Matrix for this one as well. He helped me build this one, and he's one of the people right now who are building maps as well. So he's working on one that we should be putting on the website soon. But this one was, well, it's got the V's on the side, right? So I wanted to build something that paid homage to the community. And I was thinking about what had been built already versus what hasn't. And I was like, there's no like large skyscraper that I can think of. So I started looking at photos and then I put that design together. And I remember the moment when I turned the lights on like the side of the panels, like the V's.
Yeah.
And I just flew back and I was like, wow, okay, it's coming together.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, like the vision for this one was just to try and create something that was different from what we've seen before, but also utilize more triangles, because I see a lot of people using like cubes and stuff still. So I want to focus on more, complicated shapes, triangles, circles, things like that. So
yeah. So a little challenge for you as well, right?
It was more challenging than the builds I've put together before, but it's definitely using techniques that I've used in other games before, like going all the way back to Halo and stuff. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So more of a showcase and like to spread the idea of using all the simple shapes, right?
Yeah, I'm going to start complicating it more. I'm going to start releasing more like techniques too. Like there's something called a ring technique where you can use rings to create curved buildings and walls and everything like that. It is a bit of a tedious process, but like we haven't seen any builds like that yet. That's another good example, actually.
Will you do a tutorial on that? Because I really enjoyed watching the tutorials on your channel. They really help.
Thank you. Yeah, I can put that together. But yeah, like using a technique like that, it's going to allow you to build more and more unique things. So when I drop that, hopefully we'll start to see like more curved buildings and stuff.
Yeah, totally get it. Okay, cool. Let us move on. That were like the four like main spaces you want to showcase on your homepage. But there's more, right? I mean, you've Where is it? Yeah, scroll.
Or more maps or
No. I mean, like the testimonials and stuff. I mean, that's really important in my opinion. Yeah, because I mean, the first testimonial we have here is from the CEO of VeVe himself, David Yu, and I will read it out as good as I can. Josh, better known as, oh God, great start to it. Okay, again, let's start from the beginning. Josh, better known in the VeVeVerse as Collectors Gone Digital, for crafting such breathtaking and wildly interactive builds. It's a masterclass in creativity and a true testament to how digital collecting can come alive in the most imaginative way. I mean, man, what a nice testimonial.
yeah. I was laughing to myself because I was thinking about how I got this before an interview with him.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, for 2 years, David, I've been emailing you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't want to have a look at his email inbox. I mean, that's probably full.
I don't know how he doesn't get overwhelmed. I'm sure he probably does at some point, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to be crazy.
yeah. I mean, we all know that about our email inboxes. I totally lost track of one of my emails.
Yeah.
So, okay, next one. Dan Crothers, the co-founder and COO of VeVe. Josh from Collectors Gone Digital brings imagination to life like few others. The worlds he creates are rich with depth, visual, spectacular, and genuinely immersive. Each one a testament to his creativity and craft. Also,
I gotta say this review is the one that really hit me. Like Dan, I even told him this too. I was on the phone with him and I was like, I call you a hermit crab, right? Because you'll pop up and then all of a sudden disappear for months on end, right? Like he's just like that. He's like this, right? So he was the last one that I needed to get the interview or the review from. I had reviews from all the others. He was the missing piece to the puzzle.
yeah.
And so when I got it, I was like, wow, because he's also the one that I've really looked up to over these past 3 years. Like the VeVeVerse is his baby, right? In a way, it's kind of like mine. It's what I've been working towards and preparing for. So him and I relate a lot in that sense. And yeah, so the fact that he was able to take the time and write that out for me, it means a lot. So it was really cool.
Really nice, man. Really, really nice. Should we do another? I mean,
On to the next.
there are never enough great testimonials to underline your capabilities of building, I guess. And then we have Ben Rose. We've talked about him earlier. He's not longer in the company. He is the former CEO of Binance New Zealand and VeVe. And his testimonial is Josh was an early adopter and true innovator.
Innovator.
True innovator in the VeVeVerse. His ability to bring environments to life with both technical precision and creative flair is unmatched. I mean, you have really, really good feedback on there. And I know the feedback from the community is also really great, right?
The fact that I can have the word Binance on my website is insane to me. It's not even the fact that he was the former CEO of VeVe. It's the fact that he was involved with Binance.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's so cool and so surreal. So
yeah, totally,
yeah,
totally.
Shout out to him.
And I have to be honest, when I've clicked through them, shame. Click one more. Shame on me. I didn't even know about that guy. I mean, don't. Sorry if you see that, Justin. Don't be mean, mad at me. I know I follow him on X, but I didn't know that he is the CEO of VeVe Korea.
So I was talking with him and he told me how he knew about me before I knew about him. And Justin's someone who he's wanted to keep, from my understanding at least, he's wanted to keep a low profile. Like you can't tag him on X or anything like that. He doesn't I don't think he says VeVe CEO in his like bio or anything. So Justin is like, Millie's ran some spaces with Justin. He deals with a lot of the partners and like IP and stuff. Super passionate about what he does. His mentor was David So I've been trying to network with Justin as well, huge supporter of my content. And yeah, like he's somebody who behind the scenes does not get enough credit, I don't think. In addition to others like Corey and Eagle Eye and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
these guys put in so much and do so much for the business that I don't think people understand. So, yeah, Justin's another big one. He's the one who dealt with YG from Blackpink.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, good job on that, I would say.
Like David actually, if I remember the story right, I'm pretty sure David actually put him in charge of getting them. So he was the one who pitched them and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Anything else on the website? So there's probably a really easy way to contact you through the website, but we have to go there. Let's check it out.
So if you guys just go up here, click the plus sign, or just get in touch if you want to just do that right away. But you can go down to the contact page, or on the about page tells us or tells you a little bit more about us. And then you have the option under the steps to create right here to book a call. So try to outline the steps very clear, concise, plan it out, build it, revise it until you're satisfied, and that's it. So
Man, as I said in the beginning, I mean, I think your website looks gorgeous, and I also think that people can't go wrong with your services, in my opinion. I've said it a couple of times. You've helped me here and there, and that was huge for me because it's after you like explained it to me, it was so clear and easy to do myself in a few
awesome.
places. So
I
yeah,
love to hear
nice.
that.
If you are interested in those individual spaces or any of the other options you can choose, go to Josh. I mean, I'm sure you're in good hands there. So check him out
Thank you,
if you
man.
haven't already.
Thank you. And to your point about the tutorials, I am working on a resource right now that should walk people start to finish on how to create an account, log in, learn the tools, build something from scratch for the first time, and like pretty much do the full start to finish process. So
Yeah.
anybody who's new to the VeVeVerse hasn't been too involved with it yet, that's something I'm working on. So stay tuned.
Sounds great.
And shout out to all these other companies who gave me the permission to showcase them on the website as well.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong, guys. Contact him if you want anything cool built. Josh, anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported the journey. I mean, for just to give you the quick rundown for anyone who doesn't know, I come from the gaming space. I was building maps when I was like 10 years old in Halo, Minecraft, recently in Fortnite, bunch of other platforms as well. This is something that I was doing out of just pure enjoyment for the game when I was a kid. And it resulted in hundreds of maps that I built, hundreds of hours put into them. But one of my favorite aspects of doing that was like running custom games afterwards with people and then seeing how they would react to the builds and how they would experience and have fun with them. And so we're now at a point where I get to do that for a living, and it's a dream come true. So I just got to say thank you to everyone who supported that journey. And if you guys are thinking about building out something unique and something that's going to, make your collection stand out, then go to collectorsgonedigital.com, and all the info to get started is here. So
Also,
thanks again, man. I just really appreciate it.
All the time. And also check him out on X and YouTube as well, because as I said, he's not just a builder, he's also a content creator who does great content. So guys, and yeah, if you enjoyed that episode, let us both know what was like the most exciting things for you in the comments. That would be great and really would help like spread the word. And also, if you haven't already, I would highly appreciate it if you follow the channel and leave a like for the video. And yeah, I would say, Josh, have a great day, and to everyone out there, Thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.